Hi, it's me, Abby from the Wonder School, and as you can see, it's been snowing here in the mountains, and I just came back from a hike in the snow, so it's the perfect time for some herbal hot cocoa. Yay! And I got my pigtails going, so I'm ready for some hot cocoa and that childlike delight that hot cocoa brings. So I'm gonna type out the recipe for this on my Patreon site. So you can go there at patreon.com/thewonderschool and get the recipe. And I'm also gonna give you some cool ideas for other herbs that you can add into your hot cocoa to make it more medicinal for a variety of things, or to add different tastes to make it delicious in a variety of ways. So let's get started. I have the stainless steel pot and my stove is set on medium low. I have some oat milk here, which I love, but you can use whatever kind of milk you enjoy, just regular cow milk, coconut milk, whatever kind of milk you like. And I've been playing around with fermenting oat milk using a recipe from my friend Kirsten Shockey, and I'll put a link in the comments to that so you can check that out. But basically what we're going to do is we're just going to heat this milk gently, and we don't want to scald it. Okay, that's important. So we're just going to heat it gently, and then we're going to turn the heat off. We're going to add our hot cocoa and whisk it in. So that is really important. I have my whisk. If you don't have a whisk, that's okay. You can just use a fork. But it helps it to mix in there so that there aren't any lumps or bumps in your hot cocoa, which doesn't make it very fun. So let's see, that is getting there. I'm gonna put my handy dandy lid on to help it heat a little bit faster. And I'll tell you about what herbs we're gonna put in our hot cocoa today. So I have my very special spice berry spice. So if you don't know about spice berries, that's what I call spice bush berries, which grow through much of the eastern United States. They're a wild native shrub, and they were a substitute for allspice back in the day. They're quite delicious. So I have a recipe for my spice berry spice. It's very similar to pumpkin spice, but I think it's tastier, in my Wild Forage Life cookbook, which you can also find on Patreon at just $10 a month, or you can buy it at thewonderschool.com on the products page. So I use that in everything. It's so delicious. My spice berry spice lattes, especially, that I drink every day because I'm spoiled. I'm a spoiled forager. That's what you get to do if you're a forager. I'm also going to add a little bit of chili powder in here just to give it a little bit of spice. So you can leave that out if you want. It's totally optional, but it's nice to have these warming spices when we're out on a cold day. It helps our circulation, it helps us stay warm, and it helps us stay healthy. So I'm also going to add some of my homemade vanilla. I extract it into brandy. Usually it's quite delicious. And a little bit of real salt. So I like the real salt. That's the brand name. That's not just what I call it. Let's check on our milk to make sure it's not burning. Okay, I see it steaming. So I think it's good. I'm gonna turn it off. I do use my fingers. My hands are clean. But honestly, I don't think that we use our hands enough these days in cooking. And so if your hands are clean and you're using safety precautions, I think it's totally fine. I also have some coconut oil here that I am going to put in to make it richer and help extract those herbs a little bit more. So you can put that in. I really like organic, unrefined coconut oil. Of course, I have my chocolate. So this is cocoa powder. You could also use raw cacao and like the cacao nibs and grind them up, and that would be amazing. But this is a little bit more accessible. I like to use the non-Dutched cocoa powder because the way that they process the Dutched cocoa powder is not very good for us. But you know, we take what we can find, so that is okay. Use what is most accessible to you. And then some delicious maple syrup, one of my sweeteners of choice, especially when I'm going to be heating something. So I prefer not to heat honey if I can. Now it's not going to be super hot. It's probably going to be about the same temperature as tea, but I just like the taste in here too. So something to play around with. You can use honey or sugar, whatever you want for your sweetener. So let's go ahead. For this, for 3 servings, I'm using 3 cups of milk. So 1 cup per person, and then 3/4 cup of cocoa powder. I like it real chocolatey, okay? So we're gonna pour this in slowly as we're whisking. Oh my goodness. I can't believe how amazing this smells already. Just chocolate and milk. That's all you really need, right? But we're gonna make it super extra special today. All right, because I'm an herbalist and a forager, so why not add herbs and forage goodies, right? Yes. Okay, so that's all mixed in. I'm gonna make sure to take it off this burner since it's electric. It'll stay hot for a little while. I don't want it to heat up too much again and scald our milk. So the next thing that we're gonna add is vanilla. I'm just gonna say for this, 2 tablespoons. Now you will probably notice that I like to add a large amount of my ingredients, a high quantity, because I just like it. I like to be able to taste everything that's in there. But you can change any of this that you want and just keep tasting it. So make it to your taste because it's all about you. It can be all about you today. All right, so we got our vanilla in there. Next, we're gonna put in our coconut oil. So I'm gonna put in about 1.5 tablespoons. I just went ahead and used this spoon. I don't always measure things, you know. You can eyeball, you can do to taste, whatever you want to do. Again, it's all about you. Okay, that's gonna melt pretty easily because this is pretty warm. Got a little bit extra, so I'll just rub it on my hands, a little moisturizer there. And then I'm gonna add 1/4 cup maple syrup because that's what I like. Okay. All right, that looks like about 1/4 cup. I'm gonna hold it up at eye level. Yep. And then I'll whisk that in. I'm gonna grab my rubber spatula and get the rest of this out. I will say rubber spatulas are super duper handy to have in the kitchen in multiple different sizes as well. For different jobs and different containers, right? Yes. Okay. So we got that, and then we're gonna put in 1.5 teaspoons of our spiceberry spice. Okay, so just take the lid off here because we need a lot. All right. So you can make it a rounded teaspoon if you want. I'm just gonna eyeball half instead of dirtying another one of these spoons. And I'll whisk that in there. Okay, and then we need 1/2 teaspoon or to taste of our chili powder. Okay, so we'll take the top off that. Just dig right in there. Now I do need to use my 1/2 teaspoon, so I could have just used it before, right? But I try and think about what is easiest in the moment. That's not gonna mess it up. Okay. So chili powder is not as spicy as some other things that we could put in there, so you can make it spicier. I'm going to give you some suggestions for that on Patreon. So check out the link down at the bottom to that. And now we're just going to put a pinch of salt in there. I don't know, it just adds a little something. You don't have to. I'm a salt lover personally, so I feel like it brings the flavor out. It does cool stuff chemically, you know. All right. So we're gonna whisk all that together, and guess what? We're done. That is it. So I am going to get my handy dandy spoon and taste some. Y'all, come on. That's ridiculously delicious. I might add just a smidge more of maple syrup because it's not that sweet. And of course, whoever you're serving this to is gonna like it different. So they can add more once you serve it if you want. Okay, now I'm gonna put some in this measuring cup so you can see what it looks like, maybe. See this rich, dark chocolate. You probably can't see, but there's some bubbles in there from the oil. And so good. So thank you for watching. Leave in the comments any herbs that you like in your hot chocolate, and if you make this and try it, how it goes for you. And if you like this video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to hit that little bell so you get notified of new videos. And you can get ongoing botanical education at patreon.com/thewonderschool and support the work that we do here and with our nonprofit. Thanks so much. Happy foraging, happy wildcrafting, happy cooking.